Yes, once again, it is Sunday school, and it was the coldest night of the year, I do believe here. The bird bath was hard frozen over this morning. The house is incredibly cold, and we're trying to heat it up today. I hope things are okay where you are. I hope you're nice and warm and toasty. Constance just brought me in a cup of coffee, and if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to sip it. Oh. Oh, my glasses are steamed over. I am, I'm layered up this morning with lots of different layers. Here, let me excuse me while I perform. There. There we are. Constance and I are going shopping, hopefully for some bookcases, cheap bookcases. We're looking for like used bookcases because we're trying to organize some stuff that we haven't unpacked and stuff because we are seriously getting ready to start a Monday night or at least a weekly night magic class here in our home in Sacramento. But first we've got to make a little space for ourselves in the living room. I hope those of you in the Sacramento area are watching this space for the announcement. I believe the first series of classes will be on the fundamentals of Enochian magic, and it'll be an experiential, like most of our weekly classes have always been. It's a combination of the theory and background and things like that, and the study part. And usually every part is an experimental. We actually do magical things, and then we talk about it, results and stuff the next week. So be standing by. We haven't settled on Monday night yet because we want to see who in the area can make it best. But we're still thinking about Monday. So that being said, that's why I'm bundled up. Okay, and we want the house to be warm. Oh, incidentally, once we start the classes we don't charge for the class, so there's not a class fee or anything like that. Because if you can't afford it, if we charge $2, if you can't afford $2, $2 is too much, and if you can afford $300, we don't want to discourage you and think we just want two, so we don't charge anything for our classes. Just like when we had the lodge, we didn't charge any monthly lodge dues or anything like that. But we do usually place a donation basket conspicuously near the door, so it constantly reminds you that it would be nice, kind of thing. Anyway, so I'm bundled up, layered up. We're going to go to at least two places this morning. And because I make Constance nervous when we shop. Okay, she wants me to get in and shop and walk around and look at that and walk back and forth and things. But I'm really lazy and I make her nervous. Okay, and so I usually sit in the car and do my work. So I'll probably be sitting in a couple of parking lots this morning or today. But wish us luck on a couple of appropriate bookcases. Because it's Sunday school, uh, I thought I would address the topic of the Holy Guardian Angel. Okay, Constance has been reading uh, uh, chapters, systematically reading through Magic Without Tears, and she does it over the telephone to a friend of ours uh, who uh, has difficulty reading. Okay, uh, it's not that they're developmentally disabled in any other way, uh, but uh, he has to get his information audibly. Okay, and it's a friend that we've known for the last 40 years or so, and so her reading through that leads to discussions between she and I uh, before and after these calls, because I mean, how many times, I know all of us have lots of books in our library. Most of us have libraries that look pretty much like everybody, like each other's. Uh, we got lots of books, but we don't read them all the time. We read them once or twice, and then we refer to them and things like that. But very seldom do we just pick up a book that we've had for the last 30 years and just read it cover to cover. And when we're dealing with writers like Crowley, uh, you could read, say, Magic Without Tears, or you could read the Thoth Tarot book, the book on the Thoth Tarot, or Magic in Theory and Practice. You could read it all the way through, cover to cover, and then start reading it again from cover to cover, and it would seem to you like a different book. Things that you missed the first time, you get. Things that seem difficult the first time you read it, and you glossed over it somehow and went on to sexier things, you get. All of a sudden, things that puzzled you or disturbed you or inspired you the first time are completely different the next time you read it. I really say, like the Thoth Tarot, Crowley's book on the Thoth Tarot, it's a magic book. It's like the words warp into new words, different words every time you read it. And so reading Magic Without Tears and having Constance read it and discussing it is really a healthy, good thing, because I'm constantly saying, God, I didn't know Crowley said that. If I would have understood that the first time I read it, I wouldn't have been such a screw up, you know. But anyway, so we've been talking about the Holy Guardian Angel and what that really means as far as someone's personal spiritual development. And this is apart from whether you are formally in the AA or the Golden Dawn or we get so hung up on talking about the map that we don't talk about the journey. And everybody's spiritual journey is something that is totally unique and in its own way has no particular direct result with the club or the order that you think you belong to, because it's even your teachers aren't projecting any form of enlightenment on you. You're always an order of one. Always. And all initiation is self-initiation. What you get out of a group working and things like that is compatibility of style. Well, I resonate to getting it this way rather than resonate in a Japanese style or a Kabbalistic style. The journey is yours. It's personal. You're an order of one. O. So the idea we were talking about the Holy Guardian Angel and the Abramelin operation, and because Crowley refers to the Abramelin operation quite a bit. Crowley wrote a ritual invocation of the Holy Guardian Angel, his own version of the Abramelin formula, in a fabulous document called Liber Samach. And it was the Liber Samach that I use as the foundation of an actual ritual where you could stand up and do stuff and draw the correct stars and so you could learn the thing with its blocking and everything, so you could later then do it in your head the way Crowley suggested. So it's an important thing because it, as I'm going to show you in a second, it's like the first big step of waking up. It's the first step, this experience, the first step in you returning to Godhead. It's the first step of your union with the divine. Okay? And that first step on the roadmap, anyway, moves you from 10 to waking up to 6. And that sixness, okay, which is a direct reflection of the singularity, okay, and you are almost the direct reflection of the reflection. That's why this one's called the sun and this one's called the moon or the planetary spheres. But the idea, the first big step, is to wake up from the sleepiness we're in right here in 10 to realize kinda who and what we really are. And that has been metaphorically described as the Holy Guardian Angel and you waking up to the Holy Guardian Angel. Not only waking up, because that's what you do, you're waking up, but in order for our meat brains to actually approach the dynamics of what that really means, we see it as a marriage. And we see the process as you marrying the angel. But it means the angel changes too. Okay? It's like a marriage. You are angelized when you get to here, and the angel is youized when you get there. If that doesn't make any sense, here's something I wrote for a class. The great secret of the Abramelin operation and the Abramelin formula and Crowley's Liber Somic, is that each of us is possessed with our own personal divine guardian angel, who in a sense is our soulmate. In a sense is our soulmate. And in another sense, the other half of ourself. But at the moment, it doesn't do us any good to think of it as the other half of ourselves, because our meat brain consciousness is vibrating on such a low frequency that from our current point of view, the Holy Guardian Angel really is an objective, separate being. So if we're perceiving it as such, if we're considering it as such, it is. It is, in the sense that is our objective reality at the moment. It is an objective and separate being. But in fact, we're not fully ourselves until we've profoundly united with our Holy Guardian Angel. And what's more, the angel is not fully itself until it's united with you. In other words, a Holy Guardian Angel needs you as much, or perhaps more, than you think you need your Holy Guardian Angel. Once this marriage is complete, once both of you and the angel are a single unit, then and only then is the magician truly a magician, possessed with the spiritual insight and integrity to wisely wield the powers of a magician. Until knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel has been achieved, the proto-magician is operating blindly in the dark and does not yet have a wisdom or the discernment to know what is or is not in his or her best interests. Now, this little tidbit of information that the Abramelin book brought to the Western magic is really big stuff. And in the late 19th century, it would blow the minds of the leaders and initiates of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, who realized this secret rescues the practice of Western ceremonial magic from a collection of superstitious and clumsy attempts at bargaining with demons and bribing angels, and elevates it to a science of self-transformation on par with the disciplines of yoga and the great mystical systems of the East. In 1888, a fragment of the copy of the Book of Abramelin was translated by Samuel Little MacGregor Mathers and published as The Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. Notice I said a fragment of the Sacred Magic. After Mathers translated it, immediately it became a sensation among the initiates of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, who were quick to see that the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel was a level of consciousness, which corresponds to the initiatory level of Tiferet. Once again, Tiferet. Number 6 on the Kabbalistic scale of consciousness, known as the Tree of Life. Now, it may seem that the term Holy Guardian Angel is a very unsatisfactory way to describe a shift in human consciousness or a level of awareness. But in many ways, it's just perfect. When we hear the term Holy Guardian Angel, many of us immediately think of one of two things. Something sweet and warm and fuzzy, like Catholic children's pray to the Holy Guardian Angel. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day or night, if you say it at bedtime. be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. Or you think of something cold and Kabbalistic, like when you try to explain things by pointing to a location somewhere on a chart, like the tree of life, the diagram which tries to map out existence and being as levels of consciousness, from your head down at 10 to Godhead up at 1. Just like I did at the beginning of this talk. So, using this as we usually perceive it, is the objective reality most of us identify with. Down at number 10. It's the slowest, most dense, slowest vibratory frequency of consciousness. Kabbalists call it, or at least some Kabbalists in one system of looking at it, Kabbalists call it the microcosm, number 10. The little world, the manifest world of matter and energy, the world we call objective reality and our everyday consciousness. The ancient Hermeticists tried to understand this phenomenal world as the interaction of 5 fundamental elements: fire, water, air, and earth, and spirit. So they represented this objective reality, this microcosm, by the figure of the pentagram. But if we could wake up just a little bit, we could discover that just above this microscopic world of space-time and all the microcosmic furniture we stub our microcosmic toes on, are 7 layers of a different dimension, a different spectrum of consciousness frequencies that, like the rainbow of colors created when pure light passes through a prism and shatters, the pure light of Godhead spreads them into a spectrum of descending levels of consciousness. These 7 layers of consciousness the ancients attributed to the 7 planetary spheres. And together they form what they call the macrocosm, the greater world. The higher dimensions of consciousness and reality represented by the hexagram, which is often used to symbolize the sun surrounded by the spheres of Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, and Luna. It's our great work. Indeed, it's our inescapable destiny to achieve perfect realization of and attunement with this level of consciousness. Christians call it Christ consciousness, where the consciousness of the Father, 1, is perfectly reflected in the consciousness of the Son, 6. Or as the Beatles sang and as Constance painted, I am he, as you are me, and we are all together. In Kabbalistic language, the supreme consciousness of Kether, number 1, the crown, is reflected perfectly in the consciousness of Tifereth, 6, the heart, on the tree of life. But in order for us to wake up to this state of consciousness, we must first snap out of our dream stupor of the microcosm. We must wake up to the level of consciousness of 6, the sphere of the sun, which corresponds in the human heart as the psychic center. The heart chakra is called the anahat or anahata, and its symbol, like the symbol of the macrocosm, is a hexagram. And here's where it gets romantic. Like Sleeping Beauty, we're all asleep down here in our world of 5, meaning number 10. And the only thing that can awaken us is the kiss of the macrocosmic prince, number 6. But where is this prince? Your prince is here, right now, within you, all around you, trying to plant that kiss on your unconscious lips. But you'll stay unkissed unless you can allow yourself to do two simple things at once. First, you must fall head over heels, helplessly, hopelessly, insanely, absolutely, completely, droolingly gaga in love with God. You need to send out a love ray from yourself to God. Secondly, and at the same time, you must completely let go and surrender yourself to receive back that same intensity of love beaming back to you from God. Please remember, God, disguised as your holy guardian angel, can take any form. But the form must be sufficient to trigger within you that pure love alternating current, that unobstructed love magnetism. God forms, film stars, boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, father, memories, fantasies. The eyes of the angel can look at you through the eyes of beloved pets. Anything that you can love wholeheartedly and whose love you can accept back without resistance. That love ray acts like a microphone that comes too near a speaker. It feeds back and amplifies that louder and louder and louder, and feeds back and feeds back and feeds back and amplifies. And then that louder love feeds back. And this feedback, instead of a screeching note like we hear at concerts, this love feedback gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, overwhelmingly sweeter. And that activates the heart chakra and starts it spinning faster and faster and faster. And that's Sunday School for today. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend and a wonderful start to your week. And right now, Constance and I are going used bookshelf shopping. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.